Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Strife pistol, which I feel truly lives up to its name because I feel Strife every time I use the Strife. I looked up its definition online just for you guys. Noun, Strife. Angry or bitter disagreement over fundamental issues. Conflict. Friction, discord, disagreement. I feel all of those things in my soul when I'm using this weapon because I want to like it, but I just don't. There's a few ways to use the Strife that are very fun, but overall it is a very simple and not particularly great weapon, but let me explain to you why. We'll start off with the damage profile. The Strife boasts an impressive 46 damage at close range, decreasing down to 27 at a distance. What that means is that it will kill between 4 and 6 shots, which is little on the high side. However, headshots will deal 1.1x damage. Uniquely to the Strife, most weapons have headshots that don't matter. However, the Strife will grant you one less shot to kill if you get all headshots. If you get 3 headshots in a row, that is a dead person, and you'll kill them in 3 bullets, and that is a very effective weapon. However, given how close you're going to have to be, given how people move and try to sidestep back and forth, it's going to be very difficult for you to get those 3 headshots in a row. The range on the Strife is surprisingly good. You can see its maximum damage range on the screen right now. I did not expect it to have that kind of range. Long barrel adds about 20% range to it, which is nice, but perhaps not necessary because you're typically not using this pistol at those long ranges. The rate of fire is 440 rounds per minute, semi-automatic. This is a little bit slower than semi-automatic pistols have been in previous Call of Duty games, so it may not feel as snappy or as responsive as some of you want it to. So when it comes to all of this, I'm just going to say the TTK of the Strife makes me want to eat glass, and that's the biggest issue with this weapon. Being a 4-shot kill at around 400 RPM, if you're doing that perfectly, maximizing it, not missing, if the enemy doesn't turn on you, if you don't flinch, if, even in the best of scenarios, it has a very mediocre time to kill. Realistic, I mean, probably on the slower side of mediocre. The Strife is just not a high TTK weapon, and generally I try to avoid those because I don't like killing my enemies slowly. It does have some nice things about it, the first of which is the recoil. That's very nice. It doesn't kick hardly any, which is why in hardcore mode with that 46 damage, a lot of people use it like a rifle and just one-shot you at really absurd ranges and they get really fast follow-up shots. So it can be very frustrating in hardcore, but the recoil doesn't help you a whole lot in core mode because you're probably going to need to be really close to enemies to kill them. I don't find optics to be worth the point for pistols. The default iron sights work just fine for me. I could put red dot or ELO on there, but I would only do it if I were showing off or making a goofy class. The Strife iron sights are fantastic, they're easy to use, and I don't think many of you will have problems with them. HIPFIRE struggles a bit because the weapon isn't very spammy. Now if you run laser sight on it, it has a really tight HIPFIRE box, and it's not hard to get HIPFIRE hits, but it's not a really fast firing weapon, so it's really easy to overswipe enemies and miss a shot or two and kind of lower your time to kill, so I'm very big on aiming down sights with the Strife. Speaking of aiming down sights, it'll ADS in 125 milliseconds, which is very fast compared to most guns, but it is a pistol. If you put quick draw on, it'll aim down sights in 100 milliseconds. Not the biggest difference here, not worth the create a class point for me, but I thought I would present you with the information. Reload time is just barely over a second, which is the fastest in the pistol class, even compared to the shotguns and other stuff. Secondaries in Black Ops 4 reload really slow, so that's definitely a fast reload. The Tactical Knife Operator mod is the best thing the Strife has going for it. This is where the Strife really comes into its own and becomes fun, and you can tell that they clearly designed the entire pistol around this Operator mod. It works just like the Tactical Knife from previous Call of Duty games. One stab and the enemy is dead. Slight increase on range, but not very much. The Strife can be very fun to use with the Tac Knife. Even if Black Ops 4 knifing is a bit awkward, they still haven't got those melee hitboxes quite right. You do get some air stabs, and it doesn't lock on quite like it used to in previous Call of Duty games, but you can definitely surprise people, especially with the higher health and armor and boost. You can just kind of run up to people, tank a few shots, knife them, stim up, and keep going. It's really fun to use like that. Unfortunately, overall, the Strife is a poor backup weapon and really should only be used for fun. If you really want to feel like John Wick, if you want to put a suppressor, an extended mag, and a bayonet, you just want to go hunt people down, yeah, that's fun. It works. It's a usable, functional weapon, but as a backup weapon or as a solo weapon, there are much better choices in Black Ops 4. The only class that I would recommend using would be the fun Tac Knife one, and I call it bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're going to run Tac Knife, Suppressor, Laser Sight so you can spam HIPFIRE when everything gets all panicky, and of course Ghost so that you stay off the radar. With this class, you should flank spawns, you should harass people, and you, if you get a boost or if you're running armor or something, can run in, tank some bullets, and face check people. When it comes to Blackout, the Strife deals 40 damage up close in Blackout, which is a little bit weaker than its multiplayer counterpart, but that's good damage for Blackout. That's more than any of the assault rifles, but it's very hard to use. It is a pistol in a game mode that is designed around super long-range combat. It doesn't shoot very fast. It doesn't deal a ton of damage over range. It has horrible bullet drop. It's only got a few rounds in the magazine. Almost every other gun outperforms the Strife, and you can't even kit it out well. The Strife only takes 4 attachments, so it's not like the Mozu that you can load down and turn into the Mozu God thing. So my recommendation with the Strife in Blackout is please don't bother with the Strife in Blackout. If you pick it up and try to use it in any capacity, you're going to have a bad time. Using any other gun as your primary is going to be better. I'd rather have a shotgun, rather have an RK7, at least I can spam it, much rather have a Mozu. Why not have a backup SMG, a backup rifle? It's just not smart to be carrying around a Strife, so please don't do that, guys. That is it for this shorter episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful, and if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.